Hi there. I'm Hannah Bogan Novak, co-creator of the Brain Talk curriculum, and I want to thank you so much for joining me. In this video, we'll be zooming in to learn more about reflective review, why it is so critical to strong executive function thinking, and how you can support the development of this skill using the Notes to Myself worksheets in Unit 6 of the Brain Talk curriculum. Many of our students with executive function deficits find themselves stuck in a cycle of trying the same approaches to solving a problem or managing a task that didn't work in the past. In other words, they're trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And how do they find themselves stuck in this loop? It's because they are not engaging the critical skill of reflective review. They are not reflecting on their experiences. So what is reflective review? It's the process by which we pause to reflect on the outcomes of our actions. It's asking yourself, what strategy did I use? Did it work? And why did it work? Pausing to reflect on the usefulness of a strategy allows Miss Hip, or the hippocampus, the chance to associate that strategy with a particular outcome. If something was unsuccessful, you likely wouldn't attempt it again. Whereas if something was successful, you'd want to note that in your brain's memory library. Instructors tend to focus on the "what didn't work" question when supporting reflection with students. And while this is an important aspect of reflective review, it's still equally as important to consider what did work, so you can store that strategy in what we like to call your brain's strategy data bank to use again in the future. A great way to help students identify the details of a particular situation is to use the past worksheets in Unit 6 to help those students break down the details into the past facts. Past stands for people, actions, space, and time. In other words, who was there, what was happening, and where and when did it occur? The worksheets called Past Patterns Reflective Review invite students to start comparing the past facts in a series of situations. This is the beginning of reflective review, as students begin to see that similarities in past facts likely mean that a similar strategy will work. And significant differences might mean the student needs to more closely consider which strategy from their strategy data bank is going to be the most successful. The Notes to Myself worksheets in Unit 6 of the Brain Talk curriculum are designed to support a deeper level of reflective review and to help engage students in a conversation about learning from experience. Pausing to consider what did or didn't work in order to remember what to do for next time is the bridge between strategic thinking in the present and in the future. It's a simple review activity that ensures your students are sending effective strategies into their strategy data banks for future use and noting why unsuccessful strategies were ineffective. The simple versions of this worksheet provide students with the chance to draw or write about their experiences, while the more complex version breaks down the reflection process into specific questions. What was the situation? What did I do? What was the result? And what would I do the same or differently next time? This more complex version can also be a great resource in a calming corner or a reflection zone within a classroom to help students reflect on how a behavior or strategy did or didn't work in a social encounter with peers. In order to go even deeper with the process of reflective review, you can encourage your students to consider why a strategy was or was not successful. The why question within reflective review is especially valuable because it supports associative thinking and cognitive flexibility. In other words, we want to invite students to think beyond what worked or didn't work. We want them to consider why an approach did or didn't work. Just because something worked this time doesn't mean it's the right plan every time. It's important to know why a strategy was successful or not, so that you know when and how to apply it in the future. The why question is especially important when working with highly rigid thinkers because it reinforces the fact that strategies are context dependent and situational. Sometimes an approach does work all the time, but often it works because the context or situation was right for that strategy. As we come to a close in this Zoom In on reflective review, I want to leave you with the words of John Dewey. We do not learn from experience. We learn from reflecting on our experience. Thank you so much for Zooming in with me to learn about reflective review today. I hope you're able to take this information back to your work with your students to feel even more confident in supporting strong executive function thinking.